You know that feeling when you think you found the deal of the century on a used car, and a few weeks later, bam, the check engine light becomes your new co-pilot? Yeah, welcome to the horror show. In today's video, we're diving into the cars that might look sweet on the surface, but underneath, they're straight-up nightmares to your wallet. Let's talk about the ones you should keep miles away from before they turn your savings into smoke. If there's a luxury SUV that should come with a warning label, it's the third-generation BMW X5. Built between 2014 and 2018, this X5 was meant to be the family-friendly king of the Autobahn handsome styling, cutting-edge tech, and a powertrain lineup that included everything from torquey diesels to turbocharged V8s. But underneath that prestige lies one of the most expensive ownership experiences this side of a European repair shop. Owners frequently report a cascade of problems: oil leaks from the valve cover and oil filter housing, timing chain failures that can take your engine with it, faulty Vano solenoids, brittle plastic cooling components that crack and leak, and electrical issues that seem to multiply overnight. The air suspension system alone. It's known to fail before 100,000 miles and can set you back over $3,000. One driver summed it up perfectly. Every warning light on the dash lit up like a Christmas tree, and each one came with a four-figure invoice. Even regular maintenance is a wallet pincher, averaging over $1,200 per year, not including the big-ticket surprises. Add in the fact that many of these models are now dropping below $20,000 on the used market, and it's a textbook example of a luxury trap. Sure, it looks like a dream, but once you're behind the wheel, the real nightmare begins. For every hour of driving bliss, there might be 2 hours in the shop. And that's not just inconvenient, it's terrifying. Next model, Range Rover Evoque. First generation, model years 2012 to 2019. The Range Rover Evoque is the kind of SUV that turns heads in the parking lot and then spins yours at the repair shop. Built between 2012 and 2019, the first generation Evoque promised compact luxury with British flair. But owning one often felt like being trapped in a stylish British mystery where the twist is always a broken turbo or a dead infotainment screen. This SUV is notorious for transmission issues, failing differentials, electrical bugs, and touchscreen systems that decide when they want to work, usually not when you need them most. The Ingenium engine, introduced midway through the run, brought its own batch of problems, from timing chain tensioners that wear out prematurely to turbo failures that can cost upwards of $4,000. According to a UK survey, some Evoque hybrids were off the road for an average of 21 days a year due to repair sand. That's just the stuff under warranty. But it gets worse. Parts availability is spotty, labor costs are steep, and many independent shops won't touch them. One owner confessed, "It looked amazing in my driveway, but lived more at the dealer than with me. I was on a first-name basis with the service manager by month 6. Even resale isn't your safety net. These things drop in value like a rock in a river. So yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's luxurious. But if you like your money, time, or sanity run, the Evoque is a financial thriller with a plot that always ends the same way: you lose. And if you think it can't get any worse, wait until you see the next one. It's stylish, popular, and secretly one of the most expensive regrets on 4 wheels. Don't go anywhere. Don't let the charming looks and go-kart handling fool you. The second-generation Mini Cooper S, built from 2007 to 2013, is a pocket-sized nightmare. Sure, it's fun to drive. It's quirky. It even feels special. But it's also one of the most unpredictable and high-maintenance small cars you can buy. The turbocharged N14 engine used in early models is a mechanical gremlin nest. Carbon buildup on the intake valves, failing high-pressure fuel pumps, timing chain tensioners that rattle like a haunted attic, and water pumps that die with zero warning. This isn't an exaggeration. Some owners joke that if you haven't seen the check engine light this month, your bulb must be burnt out. And they're not far off. A simple thermostat housing failure can cost over $1,000, and it's not uncommon for engine rebuilds to be necessary before 100,000 miles. One owner wrote online, "I loved every minute behind the wheel, but hated every second at the mechanic. It was like dating someone way out of your league. They look great, but they'll break your heart and your bank account." Add to that interior plastics that wear prematurely, window regulators that fail regularly, and electronic glitches that feel pulled from a sci-fi flick, and you've got a hot hatch that's as fragile as it is fun. It's the kind of car that begs you to love it, then takes your trust and sets it on fire. And that's not a metaphor. Just ask anyone who's replaced the turbo. If there was ever a crossover that overstayed its welcome, it's the Dodge Journey. Produced from 2009 all the way to 2020 with barely any major updates, this SUV is like a zombie from the early 2000s, outdated, slow, and nearly impossible to kill. But not in a good way. Let's start with the basics. The base engine for many years was a wheezy 2.4-liter four-cylinder that struggled to move this bulky SUV with any sense of urgency. Pair that with a 4-speed automatic and yes, you heard that right, 4-speed and you've got fuel economy that's worse than some full-size trucks, averaging in the low 20s. But the real horror story lies in reliability. Electrical issues plague the Journey like a curse-failing door locks, dead batteries, glitchy infotainment systems, and random warning lights that never go away. The build quality? Think early rental car standards, cheap plastics, uncomfortable seats, and aging tech that feels like it was left behind in a Y2K bunker. Then there's the resale value, which, let's be honest, might as well be zero. It depreciates like milk in the sun. One ex-owner wrote, "I only kept it because I couldn't find anyone to take it off my hand 7 for free. And if you're unlucky enough to get a model with the optional V6, sure, it's more powerful, but it comes with its own list of issues, including leaky water pumps and premature transmission failures. The Dodge Journey might seem like a budget family hauler, but it's really just a slow-motion disaster proof that cheap upfront costs can lead to years of mechanical misery. You don't buy one, you survive it." The second-generation Chevrolet Cruze was supposed to be GM's redemption song in the compact car world's sleek new styling, better tech, improved fuel economy. But instead, it turned out to be a silent killer of wallets. Built from 2016 to 2019, this Cruze looked sharp on the outside and offered a smooth, quiet ride. Underneath, though, a parade of problems waiting to explode. The most infamous issue? The 1.4-liter turbocharged engine, which earned a reputation for catastrophic coolant leaks. The coolant can mysteriously vanish, and in many cases, it's not even visible because it's seeping into the engine and silently destroying it. GM even released multiple technical service bulletins about this, but not all repairs are covered under warranty. And when the head gasket goes, you're suddenly staring at a repair bill that rivals the car's resale value. It doesn't stop there. Owners also reported thermostat housing cracks, failing sensors, weak water pumps, and random check engine lights that just wouldn't quit. One owner shared, "I took great care of mine, changed the oil religiously, and still had the engine go at 75,000 miles. No warning, just gone." And while the interior was a step up in design, early wear on seats, glitchy infotainment screens, and occasional transmission hesitation made the whole experience feel a lot less refined than promised. Fuel economy might have hit the mid-30s, but any savings at the pump were quickly devoured by repairs. It's the kind of car that made people swear off compact sedans altogether because when a vehicle this young starts falling apart, you realize the true cost wasn't on the sticker. It was lurking under the hood, just waiting for its moment. At first glance, the Volkswagen Passat seems like a smart, understated, pick German engineering, roomy back seats, smooth highway manners. But behind that refined exterior, the models built between 2012 and 2019, especially those with the 1.8-liter TSI engine, hide a mechanical curse that's left countless wallets screaming for mercy. Let's start with the star of the nightmare, the 1.8 TSI engine. It was touted as a balance of efficiency and power, but in practice, it's infamous for oil consumption problems so severe, some owners found themselves adding a quart of oil every other fuel stop. And that's not just annoying, it's a red flag that can lead to worn piston rings, degraded turbochargers, and eventually engine failure. Volkswagen acknowledged the problem with multiple technical service bulletins, but many repairs weren't covered unless your engine was practically coughing smoke. And it doesn't end there. Water pump failures were common, with replacements costing over $1,000. Thermostat housings? Another weak point. Carbon buildup in the intake system? You'll be getting familiar with walnut blasting. And while the DSG automatic transmission offered snappy shifts when new, it's another wallet trapped down the line, with service intervals that aren't optional and clutch packs that can cost thousands to replace. One owner shared on a forum, "Loved how it drove, hated how it died. Every time I thought the issues were fixed, something else broke. It felt like I was renting my own car at full price." Even the resale value is shaky as more used buyers catch wind of the ticking time bombs under the hood. In short, the Passat with the 1.8 TSI is like a refined villain in a thriller movie, quiet, polished, and extremely good at wrecking your finances when you least expect it. This one had potential. The Chrysler 200 came back in 2015 with sleek styling, a modern interior, and promises of a more refined driving experience. But all that polish couldn't hide the mechanical madness underneath. Especially with the 9-speed automatic transmission, the 200 became infamous for hard shifts, delayed engagement, and transmission failures that felt less like a fluke and more like a design flaw. Some owners even reported their cars randomly shifting into neutral at highway speeds. Terrifying isn't even the word. The problems didn't stop at shifting nightmares. The cramped rear seats made passengers feel like they were being punished, and the sloped roofline killed practicality. The base 4-cylinder struggled to keep up with traffic, and when you opted for the V6, yes, it was quick, but reliability nosedived. Add in poor resale value, a confusing infotainment system, and build quality that couldn't hold up to rivals, and you've got a mid-sized sedan that left a trail of frustrated owners in its wake. One reviewer put it bluntly, "The Chrysler 200 looks like it belongs in a showroom, but it drives like it belongs in a recall notice." And that about sums it up. Stylish? Yes. Reliable? Not even close. These cars might look tempting on the lot, but under the hood they hide the kind of nightmares that'll drain your wallet and your patience. From failing engines to mystery leaks and haunted electronics, they prove one thing: not every deal is a good one. So before you buy, do your homework, or you might end up starring in your own automotive horror story. Which one of these would you never let near your driveway? Drop your pick in the comments, hit that like button if you've dodged one of these bullets, and subscribe for more brutally honest car guides.